We've got a top 10 tier list for the part 3 of the 8th anniversary. The new unit, Ultra Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, are definitely here for the books. Here's some things to consider. We're going to be taking every Ultra at 10 stars. We're going to be taking every Legend unit at 10 stars. We're going to have every Legends Limited unit at 9 stars. And we're going to have every Sparking at 14 stars. This is a good amount to balance how we're going to be scaling these units in ranked PvP. But let me know at the end of the video what you think about the tier list. Once you get through all of it, I'll be sure to check the comments, so leave one. Let's get into this. Right, so we're going to be starting with the fan service and honorable mentions as per. So the fan service, just note they don't actually attribute any value to this tier list besides from glaze. We just have them there to look nice and pretty because people want to see characters that they would never really see in the tier list because they're not relevant. So you know you're not using Ultra Vegeta or Blue, but hey, some guys might say he's still top 10 to this day. But the point being, he's just there because somebody likes him and he gets screen time because of that. These are decided in stream. Anyways, moving on to the actual list now, we have some honorable mentions and these are not in order. And there were some here that were very close to making it to the top 10, but for some reasons that could be debated against, they are not making my top 10. But if you wanted to put them top 10, that's fine, but they're not making mine. So we have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. He's gone down because he's come off the boost. He's just not as good as he was in the previous meta, the previous PvP season. Now Zaha, I will be speaking about this guy more as we go through the tier list, but I simply think because of who he is, he doesn't have enough versatility to be put higher on this list. He can actually perform at the same level as a lot of these guys in the top 10, if not better, but his lack of versatility means if you're not using him on one specific team, he's a game originals, you are stuck in the mud, and that makes his value a lot less. But that team that he can be put on is very, very strong. The other counterparts he has on those teams are a lot more versatile. Super Saiyan 4 Goku GT, oh my god. Hey Shadu, you're making it to the full video. This guy came into my stream and said, you know, GT is very anti-meta right now. I gave it a spin and I kid you not, I was smoking every meta team. Give it a spin for yourself. I don't think it's good enough to make the top 10, but Super Saiyan 4 Goku is astonishing right now if you're using him with the Legends Limited Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Ultimate Gohan, he's just getting pushed to honorable mentions because he's higher up on the boost. Broly, you know his cover chains thing is still pretty scary, but he's losing value day by day because other people are just better than him. That one mechanic isn't end all be all and it's very conditional and you have to do damage within a specific time frame. But if still there is like one person dead on the enemy team, he is still dangerous. And Buhan, if you're gonna play very Haram PvP, you're gonna play super passive on the boost right now, you can definitely get great result, but lack of survivability and the value of Blue right now is too high, so he's not making the top 10. But honorable mention is a safe space for him. But let's actually get into the top 10. Now, this is probably the only time I'm ever going to do anything like this, but I have 4 people that could easily make the 10, which is why the honorable mentions are guaranteed not 10th spot. Like, I wouldn't consider them in my 10th. These 4 here, they are strong, solid picks for number 10, and I just couldn't land on one, and that really never happened. I'm not even saying interchangeable, it just depends on you. So I'm giving you guys full jurisdiction. Leave a comment down below who you think should make the 10th space if you don't think it's anybody else. But we got Goku and Bardock, Super Saiyan Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, he transforms after the revive, Shin, and Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I have arguments for both of them, and it really just depends on how you play PvP, who you see in PvP, your personal experience as to who you think is going to be better. If I had to lock one 100% for my own bias, right now I'm leaning towards Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, but I could easily see someone saying Goku and Bardock. Goku and Bardock having their indestructible. The element is also good, blue and green, which means they can share Zenkai buffers with a lot of good guys in the meta right now, and they're being run on Saiyans, game originals, Son Family 2. There's a lot of versatility there. This Gohan here, we know Gohan and Trunks are very valuable right now. They can do a lot of damage, and if you want the revival layer while sharing an element with them, you can share Zenkai buffs too. You're getting a lot of buffs and cycling the support factor, second life. There's a lot going on there. Now Shin, out of all of these 4, probably has the best disrupt and the highest defensive capabilities right now. I don't know what they put in that equipment they gave him, but it's very good. But being Majin Buu Saga, he can be on the same team and will probably be one of the best, if not the best team in the game, Majin Buu Saga. Of course his element is a bit bit lackluster, but his team is so great and his disrupt is so great, he can attribute that value to the team. He can also be put on God Key as well. And then Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta clan has always been one of those sleeper teams. Always. You can run him on Saiyans as well though, and you can get fantastic results. And there's a lot of range teams right now. A team I used was Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta red, and we have 2 greens. We've got Shalette and we also have Broly. So we're running a range team, and you know green is good for red because green attacks blues, which will be type advantage over red, protecting your reds. So Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta just being very effective on that Saiyan team that I just mentioned. But as I mentioned earlier as well, GT is just phenomenal. Running him with Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the way they just support each other, there's so many buffs cycling, it's outrageous. Just because GT has great equipment and the way they buff each other is better than a lot of teams can actually do. So because of all those arguments, I feel like certain places you could argue for them in your favor. I feel like Vegeta's an easy snipe and he also has survivability. I can do a lot of damage, so I have him valuable for that reason. But Shin's disrupt while being on one of the best, if not the best team in the game, Majin Buu Saga, that's his reason. But then Gohan here, he can probably do the most damage overall out of all of these 4 because he's on Hybrid Saiyans, and Hybrid Saiyans has one of the best, if not the best equipment available in the game. Synergy of Gohan and Trunks as well is just very valuable, and the revival layer. And then we got Bardock and Goku. The indestructible is very safe, explosive green is very safe, the elements are very good right now. And then you can also put them on Saiyans with the best team in the game. Their elements are just overall doing a lot for them to be attributed with the top players. Game Originals also has such an astounding team. I mentioned that I was going to bring up Zaha and Shalette. Zaha is giving a outrageous amount of support, giving Goku and Bardock a lot more value in the tier list. And because of all these reasons, I just couldn't pick one. So it's going to be down to you guys. Like I said, if I was choosing, my biases based on enjoyments or fun and how I was experiencing PvP. Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, I'm messing with him a lot, but easily any of these guys could take the 10th space. And like I said, this is like the first and probably only time I'm going to do this. I just couldn't pick one. We are now at number 9, and Shalette has increased his value tenfold. This guy overnight has become the most underrated unit ever. Just a week ago, right, when the hybrid meta was running the game, Shalette got booted out the top 10 because purple was too powerful, hybrids are doing too much damage, and he just wasn't doing enough. This RNG machine where he's trying to get faint, it's just not enough for PvP. But right now, with how Game Originals have shot up in value, Shalette has found his home. You run this guy with Goku and Bardock and Zaha. Like I mentioned earlier, Zaha's support is so insane, it makes Shalette look like one of the best offensive units in Dragon Ball Legends. And that's in addition to the lottery blue card that he has. If you're getting feints, it's so toxic. If you get damage penetration, you're probably gonna obliterate a whole health bar. And if you've got the other ones, you know, the no switching, that's a guaranteed KO. And the health reduction thing where you can't go past it, it's not the best honestly, but it depends who you're fighting because a lot of guys do heal. Regardless, there's a lot of green card pools on that Game Originals team anyways with Goku and Bardock and Zaha, so you're just pretty much good, set up for a win. When you're running Game Originals, you are guaranteed results. But I also used him on a green red team like I mentioned earlier with Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. It's very range heavy, and that team is also great because there's a lot of green cards from Broly, and you also obviously get your own from Shalette himself. The disrupt, Broly is handling that on that team. So in general, there's just a lot going on here that keeps you safe. I should also mention the Game Originals team has a lot of defenses because this guy's getting double Zenkai buffed as well. So overall, wow. Well, not the Game Original team, on the green red, he's getting double Zenkai buffed. On Game Originals, the support factor and the way the buffs are cycling for the Z abilities and their kit, defenses are high regardless. But yeah, Shalette, you deserve your value. Being green right now is also great because Buu Duo obviously and Xenoverse 2 Rose are blue. Both of those guys are blue. So he just has a lot more value being attributed to be anti-meta in a way where he can counter the best guys. That's giving him so much stock, and he deserves it honestly. People weren't respecting him, but he's getting his respect now, and deservedly, you know. The devs really had a plan, and we were looking at him like, yeah, maybe the worst unit this celebration, but I might even say he's maybe 3rd best. Worst is not an objective case right now, which is crazy. At number 8, we've got Legend Super Vegeta. Now, I'm not against moving him up 1 based on who's going to be next, but I do feel like at the same time, defensively, he is a liability, and that's really his only upset. If he had a stronger set of disrupt or better defenses, he could easily make a top 5, top 6, but it's really how you use him that makes him seem better than he is. So in my personal experience, right, I have SV at 10 stars, which is what we're taking, right? 10 stars is very good for him, but even at 10 stars, stars on the defensive end, he's very prone to getting melted. Blue cards from likes of yellow, rose, Kid Buu, even any other element that isn't green, he does take a lot of damage, and that has been the reason I've lost a lot of games, honestly. If I win the game, it will be because of his great offenses, so there's no downplay to his offensive capability. He's able to do a lot of strike damage, blast damage, his combo potential is high, ultimates he can get 2. When that gauge is draining, that mode where he's on the countdown, he is insane. On the defensive end, he can be a liability. Also, I should mention his green card and the legend action to continue combos. Basically, he's an offensive powerhouse, but he can be a glass cannon, and that's really what's setting him back. Beyond from that, it's not really him that's super bad, or I don't want to downplay him to say he's horrible, because he's definitely not. In some cases, his defenses are good, but it depends on who you're fighting. It's just that everybody else does all-round things better, whether it's offenses and defenses, and then nuking people, combo potential, disrupt, etc, etc. So it's less of a downplay to him, but more of an upscale to the guys above him, which is why he's stopping here at 8. His element as well is decent, but there are a lot of yellows right now. Powerful opponents have got a super buff, and you will see that as we get to the rest of the list. That's Legend Super Vegeta at number 8. Nothing more to really say about him. I think it's a good standing, to be honest. This top 10, there's a lot of good characters, and the devs have made it so that there's a lot of variety, versatility. So being at number 8 is not even a diss. It's just that there's a lot of hard competition right now. Next up at number 7, we've got Kid Buu, Ultra Kid Buu. Getting boosted has saved this guy's life. Majin Buu Saga has also saved this guy's life. I'm also not opposed to putting this guy at number 6 because he's getting kind of uplifted by the best team in the game, but my current number 6, I think as an individual, is better, and because of versatile reasons, I also think he's better, but we'll get to that in a bit. Kid Buu here, he has a lot attributing for himself. He's actually one of the better solo units in Dragon Ball Legends, I would say. Explosive green for combo starts, the lock-in blues is very effective, he has an ultimate. It is a bit sad that he doesn't buff cancel consistently, but he does have endurance which can help you out, though that can get nullified very easily by a lot of units in the game. Right now he is pretty in a decent position being yellow. He just has to be careful about half of Goku, Gohan and Trunks, and Ultra Gogeta blue, maybe potentially trying to get over Shin on the defensive end and Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, but he could also be paired with a lot of good guys on Powerful Opponent aside from Majin Buu Saga, which is giving him value. Powerful Opponents has a lot of good guys, Majin Buu Saga has a lot of good guys, so I think in terms of the people he's around, pretty much situated where he will always have value. His only issue is he's just not a second or first rate pick. He's always going to be that third rate man, and that's not good enough to make it to the top 5, you know. As good as he is individually, he's not the type of guy to single-handedly carry a team. You won't be building the team around him. Don't get twisted, he can pull out some crazy 1v3s, but that's only in the scenario where he has no choice but to. If you'd look to, you'd probably use somebody else in Majin Buu Saga, the Buu duo. You might even go for a powerful opponent like Xenoverse 2 Rose to go for a 3v1 instead, the yellow Goku Black, etc, etc. But that's not to downplay his value. It's a similar situation to Legend Super Vegeta, where this guy is still good, but everybody else above him is simply just super tough competition, and that shouldn't be disregarded. You just gotta deal with that, man. This is one of the hardest lists that I've ever had to make, I feel like, because everybody on this list is super tough. But that's Ultra Kid Buu at number 7. At number 6, we've got the yellow Goku Black Rose, and he's here for similar reasons, just like Kid Buu, but I just think he's better as an individual and has a bit more versatility in regards to teams. This guy yellow Goku Black, his damage output is insane, his defensive capability and disrupt is really good as well. It's not the best, let's be actually real. His gauge filling is solid. His green card sucks though, and when he loses endurance, there's a little break there as well. The gauge can be, you know, emptied, but it's not the best gauge, let's be real, but it's good enough in this meta where not most people have disrupt, you know. Only the upper echelon have it disrupt, so it's good for him. His defensive capabilities are really good though. He's going to be taking a lot of hits and not losing his endurance and not dying. He will in most cases make it to the end of the game. I find that he's usually my last stand when I am using him on powerful opponents. He's very effective with Goku Black Rose. You can run him with Kid Buu as well. You can run him with Broly. You got options in PvP, a lot of options, I'll tell you that. He can always be run on Saiyans, he can rerun on God Key. He's got places he can be, and let's not forget Future 2, where you have Gohan and Trunks and the Blue Xenoverse 2 Rose. Like I said, the versatility aspect is really the argument that has me giving him a place above Kid Buu. Individually as well, I do think he's better than Kid Buu, but I feel like because Majin Buu Saga could be that tough, some people might want to put Kid Buu above Rose, but I think the versatility argument is just way too strong, and the slight individual argument also helps him to get that boost. So we've got him here, the transforming Goku Black at number 6. I don't think he should be lower than 7, but 6 is very solid, and I don't think he should be higher either. Now we're going to be getting to those, but yeah, number 6, the yellow transforming transforming Legends Limited Goku Black Rose. Number 5 here, we've got a unit with a bit of a fall off. From number 1 to number 5, we've got Gohan and Trunks Purple and Red Future Hybrid Saiyans. This unit here, they haven't even got worse. The game just shifted and everybody else got better. And also their Team Hybrid Saiyans did get worse though, because the blue Super Saiyan 2 Gohan isn't who he was last week. And because of that, Hybrid Saiyans isn't as optimal. So Gohan and Trunks, to be the most optimal, you'd run them on Future, which is their best team with Yellow Goku Black and Blue Rose, or you'd put them on a Son family team where you're running the Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Bojack Gohan, and you run Buu Duo as well. You try to build some sort of Son family team. Other than that, it's really just Future they're clinging on to, and because of that, they've lost value. Let me also add, they've also lost value because they are red. So the Buu Duo being blue and Blue Xenoverse 2 Rose gaining value really just shuts down that red half, but it's only half. If they were wholly red, they would be a lot lower on this list. I might say even 8th on this list. Thankfully for them, they are also purple. Their lack of survivability doesn't help them as well. If they had survivability, they could still hang around the top 4, I would feel like, because at least then you'd have a reason to use them over other people, because you're not going to just get Rising Rush and lose, or even Spirit Bombed. You don't want to get Spirit Bombed in this day and age, that will send you to hell. So dealing with those in this meta has really put them in a harder position, but they're still quality enough to still make the top 5. So if you think about it, having a blue take such a high position in the tier list, and another blue that was already there, the Xenoverse 2 Rose, and now there's these yellows that have moved in, they're getting kind of sandwiched, but they are also operating with those units, and with no survivability, that's a big pro. But in a similar light, like I mentioned with the 6 and 7, no pun intended, you know what I'm saying? It's just that the tier list is so tough that people are getting shifted down where people are getting shifted up. No downplay further for Gohan and Trunks, even though they've obviously shot down in stock. They're not further than 5, and it's simply that the guys above them just have more value right now. They are just that tough. So that's Gohan and Trunks at my number 5. We're getting up there now. We have the Blue Xenoverse 2 Rose. Now this guy is really just one of the most consistent guys you can use right now, and he's operating on every type of level. He is probably the best overall unit because he has everything you'd want in a meta like this. He has one of the stronger elements being blue. There's not many greens that can deal with him. He has Disrupt and a good amount of Disrupt while healing attributing to that, so he's going to be high health at all times. He's got a very good team, multiple teams, so versatility as well. He's on Future, you can run him on Saiyans, you can run God Key. He's really doing that job. I forgot about powerful opponents, but that's another option there too. And even then, on the offensive aspect, having ultimates so consistently is very nerve-wracking when you are fighting him. Not gonna lie, he's popping 3 ultimates a game, no BS. That is frustrating. If they're not ultimates, he's pooping out blues, and that's gonna hurt the same way, especially in tie with the legend action. It makes him very threatening on all levels, ground or high. The combo potential with him is very high as well. The healing aspect with him is very high as well. You just can't go wrong with him. The only reason I have him at 4 and not a 2 or a 3 is simply because I feel like it depends on what way you want to build a team and how you want to play the game. On the defensive end, even though I did mention his Disrupt is good, his stats are not the highest. He's not actually tanking. He's going to be taking a lot of damage, and depending on your playstyle, if you play a certain way against this guy, he could do a lot of damage, sure, but he will also be taking a lot of damage, and he could be the reason you lose the game, especially if you are using a green. If the game goes to time counts, damage inflicted he's going to absorb. Sure, he's not dying, sure he's healing, sure he's breaking off combos, but he's taking a punch, and that's where he really doesn't make it above 4 for me. If he was a bit more defensively sound, just like the yellow Goku Black Rose, I promise you this guy would be 100% top 2. But after looking at the God rankers, the God tube, I also looked at what teams people are using. I don't think Goku Black Rose should be making a top 2 or a top 3. But yeah, I still think he's very good, and like I said, this whole tier list, the competition is just that tough. So he's at number 4, and we're getting to 2, 3 now. Goku Black Rose, you've made it to number 4. We've made it to the 2 and 3. It's an interchangeable spot, and we find the part 1 units are back in competition. Ultra Gogeta Blue and Broly, the transforming unit. Now, the reason they are interchangeable is down to one thing, and it's a play style choice. How you want to play the game will dictate who you think is more valuable. And I think most of you guys do not just want to stand in PvP and do nothing. But I promise you, this is a tier list about the meta. So you need to disregard your personal choices and think beyond your means. All the top ranked players would love Broly. They all use Broly. Why? Because they play to win. They're not interested in that riffraff necessarily killing people. The objective is to win, and how you do that doesn't matter. Let's talk about Broly first. Broly is the most haram PvP player character in this game right now, because if you build him for pure defenses, he will take a hit. He has good defenses being a defense type, and you won't be able to get around him. I've watched a couple GodTube games, and the God rankers that were using Broly in the hybrid meta, mind you, when people are using purple Gohan and Trunks, Revive Han, and obviously Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, both of them. They're using hybrid Saiyans in its purest form, and people are still running Broly in God rank. Why? Because he's super haram. You just float around and you use him for defensive aspects, breaking off combos, having them basically hit you and get a free blue card, spawning green cards for the likes of Gogeta Blue. Gogeta Blue going type neutral against Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, or whoever other blue you want to run, like Xenoverse 2 Rose. It's just a perfect combination of, if you're playing with a tactic and a technique in mind, Broly is absolutely insane. And in this meta, being paired with Gogeta Blue is still fantastic for him, but even better, the Buu duo who are Saiyans, Broly just rises in value. But just who wants to play like that? If you wanted to win, you're gonna see it at the World Championship, the preliminaries that are gonna come up soon in summer, autumn. You're gonna see people using Broly, and he's gonna be floating and it's gonna be toxic. But if you wanted to have fun while also winning, he's just not the way to go. But for some people, that is fun. But naturally, it is a competitive way to play the game. And as much as you might not like hearing it or be like, there's no way he's at 2 or 3 with Gogeta, just go have a look for yourself. Even try it. Just build him defensively, float around, and only use him when you really need to stop a combo or you need to build up to transform. And try preserve the transformations as well, so you can use them in the most righteous situation. It's just pure mind games. On the opposite end, full assault mode Gogeta Blue pairs perfectly with Broly, right? So you're building this offensive game. While you've got Broly to cover you if you ever mess up a combo, you want to keep Gogeta in for as long as possible to build up his damage. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, the active gauge. That active gauge, at any point he can hit it, and if you do not have survivability, which is a lot of units in this meta right now, Gohan and Trunks, the Buu duo, and these are high level units, by the way. Who else is in this meta right now? Revival units, they have survivability of course, but they have nothing to really take away from it. We've got Shin, you've got Zaha, you've got, who else is here I'm thinking of? Buhan they're going to be using. There are people that are going to be brought out that the activation just work against, and that's only giving people the benefit of the doubt that you haven't just done enough damage to take out people's endurance or revival. If you have, then boy, it's done. But even if you haven't, the AoE that affects the whole team, the guys on standby, leads you to that point anyway, making Gogeta very threatening. He does, you could say, lose a bit of value because he's red, but he has the ability to go type neutral. He breaks combos, and offensively he's just that good. Defensively he's also on the higher level tier. That's keeping him at a 2-3 while having so much versatility in terms of teams. This applies to Broly as well. We've got Saiyans, we've got God Ki, we've got movies, we've got fusions. There's a lot going on there for Gogeta single-handedly, and that keeps him in the running. He's also just protected because we've got Chalet rising in value, and we've got obviously Broly having green to take out the blue, and that just pairs perfectly for him, keeping him at this top rank where he's offensively good, defensively good, and just doing everything you need him to do. But yeah, those are my 2 and 3 interchangeable. The main point being here, it's a playstyle choice. Do you prefer to be offensive heavy? That's why Gogeta is there for you. Or do you want to be defensive heavily? That's where Broly is for you. You want to be passive? That's Broly. Do you want to be offensive? That's Gogeta. They are my 2 and 3 for this tier list. So it should have been obvious based on how the tier list was going, but Buu duo are definitely number 1. The game genuinely revolves around them, and the amount of damage they just do all around, their combo potential and their disrupt, it's so outrageous. They aren't a perfect number 1. I do think they should be number 1 for everybody, but when I say they're not a perfect number 1, there are ways to work around them. Usually the number 1 in the game would have survivability or something like that. So in the same way, we have Gohan and Trunks who were number 1 last season. They just had so many hybrid buffs that it's fine, and they had other people on their team to protect them, that them having no survivability work. Buu duo are the same in that sense. You can get through them. You see, when you're starting the game, if you get an early rising rush or you somehow manage to nuke them with maybe Chalet or Broly, odds are nobody else is going to be able to nuke them because of how defensive heavy they can be. You don't have survivability to stay alive. You're going out. The Buu duo are going to lose. But that's like their only con. In every other situation, the game revolves around them. You're worried about the Spirit Bomb because it'll take out your whole life, and with how many powerful opponents are relevant right now, if you're running Broly, they're going to go type neutral against Broly because he's a powerful opponent, so they're going to go type neutral and nuke the whole team. That's going to be annoying. The team is going to lose 50% and Broly probably going to get taken out. And then in regards to everybody else, they're just not type neutral. The only real person that would be able to overcome him in this meta would probably be the green side of Goku and Bardock, but they're not that defensively sound. And Chalet, probably the best choice right now. So everybody else, they're taking a heavy Spirit Bomb to the face and they're going down, and then the 50% to apply to allies while having survivability in the first and second stage because you're Vegeta. That is something that heavily dictates a match. And when you have a unit that can do that, and you just play around them with other units that have survivability, so if you're running to run Saiyans, look at the options we've got on the tier list. Gogeta Blue Endurance, Broly Endurance, Xenoverse 2 Endurance, Goku Black the yellow one Endurance, we've got Legend Super Vegeta Endurance, Shallot Endurance, Goku Black, Goku and Bardock Indestructible, Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta Endurance. Do you see how many like options they just have on Saiyans? And that's not even going into Majin Buu Saga. Majin Buu Saga, you got Kid Buu keeping you there, Legend Super Vegito. You might even want to run a cheeky one like Ultimate Gohan. Shin's got Crazy Disrupt. They literally have all the pieces in the game. Son Family as well, you're running Gohan and Trunks. Then you've also got the Revival Gohan from the BoJack movie. Every single piece on this list literally somehow aids Boo Bros. It's crazy. They literally have a monopoly on ranked PvP, and on top of being the most offensive heavy unit in the game while having Crazy Disrupt. You can't go wrong with this unit. Their healing is even good as well. How is this unit literally taking over the game? They're just all for one taking every quirk available. I think that speaks for itself, man. It's pretty mad. It's pretty mad. There's nothing more to say, to be honest. I think it's self-explanatory. You've probably experienced how great they are. I've seen some people say that Gogeta Blue's active gauge is better than the Boo Bros, and in my opinion that's not ridiculous, because Gogeta Blue's one, it can just be popped like that. You don't really have to consider all the mind games of the prep time, and I think that is something that could attribute for you having that argument. But that's it. Like everything else, Boo Bros is more successful, and also having the element blue, he's just safer because there's not many greens. Only Broly really, and Shallot, who's risen in value. So yeah, everybody else you don't really have to consider as a major threat, but Boo Bros, they safe as hell in this room, man. They can turn their back to the world, nobody touching them unless they don't start that prep time. Early game though, like, is that really gonna happen? Like they said in the Legends information, get to the Spirit Bomb as soon as possible. But they are number one for the list. This is the tier list here. Gogeta Blue, Broly 2-3, Rose 4, Gohan Trunks 5, Rose 6, Kid Buu 7, Super Vegeta 8, Shallot 9, and these 4 here, Goku and Bardock, Super Saiyan 2 BoJack Gohan, Shin, and Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta at my number 10. But I'm leaning more towards Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I probably shouldn't do that, but who's gonna tell me different? I'm doing that. That's the tier list there. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section below about the top 10 tier list, the number 1 spot, anybody you think that should have made it that didn't. And if you didn't like any of the positions that I placed, even though I did make this on stream and took some opinions from you guys, I do these tier lists on stream, but I post the video separately for the guys that can't make it to the streams. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.